Hi all, today we are going to discuss about router outlet. So last session we have discussed router. So while working on that router we have faced some the content placeholder issue. So that issue we need to if you want to solve that issue we need to know the router outlet concept. So that is why I have taken this as a separate tutorial. And let me move on to before going to a practical session, I will explain the what is router outlet and why we need to use. So router outlet is simply like it's a placeholder. So you have one content, you need to place that content in your placeholder. In that situation you can use router outlet. And also if you are having dynamic content, in that situation you should use router outlet. Let assume, so you are having an admin template with the header, left menu and content and footer. So in this area, in this admin menu, admin panel, so your dynamic part is your main page. So you need to make it that main page, that center page as a router outlet. So whenever the routing, which means the anchor tag click or button click happen, we should having one routing information in our routing module.file. That information, whenever click it happen, that path is exists, that component placed in that router. So I will explain in the practical session. So let me move on to practical session. So I will see in our app.component we have two informations, duplicate issues there, so we can solve that issue first. So go to employee table. Here also remove this router outlet. So the problem is app.routing. So here we have it's not yet saved. So if you see, this will show only one list as we expect. So the problem is if I click this anchor tag, this will redirect or this will show this information only. So I want to see this information only. In that situation, so we have in app.component.html we have used both router outlet as well as one component selector. So what this will happen now, it will bind this employee info as well, and also if you are clicking that router, the placeholder should place this content as well. So for hiding those, for making make sense, so I should I'm just delete this one. So now you are getting only one value, the employee salary, right? So if I navigate to main page, it will not show anything because in router outlet this is not in the default URL. We are not setting any routing information. So I will go to that routing array. So I need to set default route. So for that I need to set path should be empty, which means it should be work in this case. So if you are it is not having any routing path, it's a main domain or main URL, in that situation we should use employee info component. So I need to set component employee info component. If you click and finally comma, save and check. I'm having localhost 4200. It's running now. It's showing the content of the employee info. So when I click this one, it will navigate through this component. Whatever we seen, it's correct. So this router outlet should replace, this is the main component. This router outlet, first time it will replace employee info, because of we are using, if we are not having any path, or the path is doesn't match anything, then it will redirect to this one. So this employee info, in that employee info what we are having, HTML, the table content and one anchor tag. So this is the first, when you open the URL, it will show the list. After clicking this anchor tag, what we are doing, we are routing the URL, which means we are passing the router link as employee salary. If I click this, then it will go to the router, it will check whether the routing path is match or not. Yes, it is match. And then what is this employee salary component? So this will replace the employee salary component in that router outlet. See, yeah, that's it. So this is how we can work in the router outlet. Router outlet is the main part. You should familiar in this while working on that so many pages. Yeah, that's it from my side.